So, when you don't know how to do something, how to fix something, or how something works, what do? Ask a teacher? Ask your parents? Ask your friends? Ask someone you really know and trust? No! You go to the internet and ask some randos. But I'm not talking about creeps here, I hope. No, I mean the people of the internet! You know, those people who make how-to videos. Because chances are, if you're trying to figure out something, someone on the internet has already figured it out for you. Things like, how do I unsend a text? No. How do I do a winged eyeliner? How do I get rid of the zit by Friday night? How do I get out of gym class? How do I screen cap Snapchat without getting caught? They'll never know. But then there are things in life that don't have an easy fix, that don't have a simple solution, that don't have a how-to video. Things like what to do when you have problems with family, or when it seems like you have no control in your life, or what to do when someone has done something to you. I mean, clearly, they gotta go. The truth is, there's a lot of life that doesn't have a solution you can just find online. So how do you know what to do when you don't know what to do?
All right, guys, quick little story time. When I was in high school, I worked at Safeway here in Gig Harbor. I was a courtesy clerk, which is, the person who's pushing in carts, bagging groceries, cleaning up the store, that kind of stuff. I actually kind of liked it because I just got to talk to people a bunch. But I remember one day I was pushing carts in the parking lot, and I was walking into one of those little cart corral things, those little burp, burp boxes that people push carts in the parking lot. Anyways, I walked into one of those and I saw a $20 bill on the ground, and I didn't see it get dropped there. I just saw it laying there on the ground, $20 bill. And immediately, and some of you guys are probably thinking the same thing, immediately all these thoughts are kind of like going through my brain as to what I should do with this money. So one of the ideas was, you know what, just ignore it, pretend you didn't see it. Maybe whoever dropped it would come back looking for it in that same spot. But then my second thought was, no, scratch that. It's not like whoever dropped that $20 bill is gonna realize they dropped it or where they dropped it. Just take it. Like, it was your lucky day, you saw it, finders keepers. There you go. Okay, but then I had another thought. Okay, come on, Johnson, you're a better person than that. Like, what you should do is take the $20 into the customer service desk to the manager, and let them know where you found it, and hopefully the customer will come and claim it. But then I had another thought. Like, wait, no. No one really goes to customer service saying that they lost only $20. People hardly realize they lose $20. Like, it's just gonna take more of my time going to the manager, and who knows, maybe that $20 will get left at the store just forever, and no one will have it. So basically, there's kind of like this office of people in my brain that they were arguing with each other as to what I should do with this $20 bill. Plus, I was working, and so I was kind of in a hurry, and so in the middle of all of this, the question was, what should I actually do with this $20 bill? What I'm trying to get at is knowing what to do isn't always simple in the moment. And that's kind of what we're talking about in this series, what to do when you don't know what to do. Today, we're gonna look at the dilemma of what to do when we don't really know what's right or wrong, when sometimes it's a little bit more blurry as to what the right thing is. To be honest, it would be awesome if doing the right thing was always clear and obvious, right? But we all know that's just not the case. Sometimes the right thing is not obvious. Say you're dating somebody and you start Snapchat messaging someone else, and you're like, well, I'm not cheating on anyone. We're just Snapchatting a lot at 2 a.m. That's not wrong, right? Or is it? Or maybe you have a teammate that's just kind of going on about how the coach benched them for no reason, but you know that they really need to work on their passing game. Is it wrong to tell them? It would kind of hurt their feelings, maybe. But is it more wrong to not tell them? Because if you told them, maybe they'd actually get better at their passing game. So you have this dilemma. Or if you have a friend who's doing something that just really bothers you and you don't really know whether or not you should tell them, you're wondering, okay, if I confront them, am I gonna just look like a jerk? Is this my issue or is it their issue? Should they just kind of figure it out and I should just put up with it? When should I bring this up to them and confront them? And so it's hard to know what's even right in some of these situations. And some of you guys maybe are thinking about some of these yourself. Sometimes also the right thing will cost us something. Once I ended up returning that $20 bill to the customer service desk, I knew that it would cost me something. For one, it just costed me time for my shift. And two, it did cost me $20. I could have gained $20. But maybe for you, the right thing is to be honest with your parents, But if you're honest with them, you might lose your phone. Maybe you know the right thing for you is not to be in that certain relationship with someone anymore. But if you break up, you'll be single, you'll be alone, you'll feel like you broke their heart, all these tensions, right? Maybe you know that the right thing to do is to not let someone cheat off your test. But if you say no, you might kind of feel like a loser. You might kind of feel socially awkward, so it costs you socially. So you guys see what I mean? Like sometimes what's right feels complicated. It's not as black and white sometimes. And even when we do know what's right, it's sometimes difficult to actually do it. And so with that in mind, I want to pick back up in the story of Joseph in the Bible. We've been reading the story of Joseph in the book of Genesis, kind of the beginning of the Bible. And we've been looking at this guy who is one of the most famous people in early history. And his story is insane, really, if you ask me. Like sold into slavery by your brothers, kind of crazy. And what we're going to look at today is a game changer for all of us, I believe. And I think it'll help us actually know what to do when we don't know what to do. So we left off last week with Joseph being sold into slavery. And we're going to pick up this week what happened afterward. We're told that Joseph was given to work in the house of an officer of Pharaoh. Pharaoh was like this king, this emperor, head honcho, president, all rolled into one. Whatever Pharaoh said, that's what happened. Period. That's the kind of clout, that's the kind of power Pharaoh had. So you can imagine that working for one of Pharaoh's most important officials was kind of stressful. Depending on the situation, it could either go really well or it could go really bad. There was no telling what situation Joseph was going to walk into. But like we mentioned last week, the author was quick to point out that God was with Joseph. And he had favor over the official whose name was Potiphar that Joseph kind of was stuck with. And that means that Potiphar was a fan of Joseph's. So with that, let's pick up the story. It says in Genesis 39 verses 2 through 6 that the Lord was with Joseph so that he prospered. And he lived in the house of his Egyptian master. When his master saw that the Lord was with him and that the Lord gave him success in everything he did, Joseph found favor in his eyes and became his attendant. Potiphar put him in charge of his household, and he entrusted to his care everything he owned. From the time he put him in charge of his household and all that he owned, the Lord blessed the household of the Egyptian because of Joseph. The blessing of the Lord was on everything Potiphar had, both in the house and in the field. So Potiphar left everything he had in Joseph's care, with Joseph in charge. He did not concern himself with anything except the food he ate. So actually, what looked like a bad situation seemed to be pretty good because Potiphar trusted Joseph. So he put him in charge of so many different things. But then things kind of took a weird turn for Joseph. It says in verses 6 and 7, it says, "Now Joseph was well built and handsome." Okay. And after a while, his master's wife took notice of Joseph and said, "Come to bed with me." So in other words, Potiphar's wife was like, dang, Joseph is fine. Like, I'm going to go flirt with him. But this is where things actually got complicated. Because Joseph was a servant, he was required to obey not only Potiphar, but also Potiphar's wife. And if he refused her commands, there was nothing holding her back from punishing him. He could be kicked out of their household, which was a better place than others, or even cost him his life. But if he did what she asked, that would create a whole nother set of problems, right? She was married to his boss, so both options came with their own set of problems. It wasn't really easy or clear. So, what did Joseph do when he didn't know what to do? Let's take a look at the story again. In verses 8 through 10, it says, "But he refused. With me in charge, he told her, my master does not concern himself with anything in the house. Everything he owns, he has entrusted to my care. No one is greater in this house than I am. My master has withheld nothing from me except you, because you are his wife. How then could I do such a wicked thing and sin against God?" And though she spoke to Joseph day after day, he refused to go to bed with her or even be with her. So basically, out of respect for Potiphar, but even out of a bigger respect for God, Joseph simply just did the next right thing he knew to do. And that was to not be in a romantic relationship with Potiphar's wife. Joseph didn't make a decision based on how things would turn out for him, like losing his job or even his life, because those were still on the line. His decision was based on what he knew was right. And what was right in that moment was turning down Potiphar's wife. It was complicated. It was challenging. But it was the right thing to do. And it wasn't like his life was exactly perfect as a result of making this right choice. In fact, things got worse. It's crazy. Potiphar's wife actually tried to switch the story up on everyone, saying, no, Joseph was the one that was trying to flirt with me. And everyone's like, whoa, 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 what? So Potiphar looked at his wife, he's like, really? And he believed her. And so he had Joseph thrown in prison out of just that anger. Not exactly the happy ending you're hoping for when you do the right thing, right? But Joseph didn't make his decision based on what it would mean for him. He did what was right with God, and he trusted God with the outcome. The outcome for Joseph right away was not good. There's a word I want to talk about today that I think changes everything when we're talking about this what to do when you don't know what to do dilemma. And the word is integrity. I know you guys all know the word, but sometimes it's something we don't think about that much. A good definition for integrity is being the kind of person who does what's right, regardless of the outcome and regardless of who is around. And sometimes doing the right thing will get you an applause. Sometimes it won't. Sometimes doing the right thing will cost you something. Sometimes it won't. Sometimes doing the right thing will make you look good, but sometimes doing the right thing might make you look kind of stupid. Really, we don't get to decide how things turn out, but we do get to decide what kind of person we want to be. That's always our choice. And being a person of integrity will lead to a life with less regret, more respect, and a better idea of what to do in every situation. So chances are we're not going to find ourselves in this kind of situation that Joseph did, but we'll all be in those situations where we'll still have to do the right thing, even when it's hard. It could go better than we thought, or it could go worse. But when we make our decisions based on integrity, doing what's right, we are living lives that we can be proud of still. So here's one thing that we can all just take away today. And it's just the simple fact is when you don't know what to do the next right thing. So I got a couple things for you guys to think about. The first one is think about a situation right now where you know the right thing to do, but you're kind of afraid to do it. I want you guys to think about that real quick right now. Think about that situation. You know the right thing to do, might be afraid to do it. Think about right now, what are you afraid of in that situation? What makes you afraid to do the right thing? And then on top of that, think about if fear wasn't a factor, what would you do in that situation? And then the second thing I want you guys to think about is determine the kind of person you want to be. Even in the crazy times we're in right now, where so many things are just chaotic, we still get to choose the kind of people we are. And I'm not even talking 5 years from now. I'm talking about what kind of person do you want to be this week, today? What do you need to do today that will set you up to be the kind of person who respects themselves and who can be proud of their decisions? Not because they're easy, but because they're right. So think about that for a moment. What kind of person do you want to be today, this week? Here's the deal. Most of us know what's right in situations, but fear keeps us from acting on the right thing to do sometimes, right? More than that, I think fear and inaction keep us from being the people we're supposed to be right now. That's why I think living with integrity, where we live on the outside just like we're living on the inside, I think integrity is the most direct route to being who we want to be. So I want to give you guys just two final action steps for you to think about and do this week when we're talking about integrity. The first thing is just tell somebody the next right thing you want to do this week. Maybe it's in a certain situation with a friendship, family member, anything like that. Tell someone, tell a friend, tell a trusted family member or a leader here, hey, this is a decision I know it's right, and I want to make that decision this week. And then invite them just to pray for you, that you'd have strength and confidence making that right decision. And ask that person to just check in with you later in the week just to see if you made that right decision. That way we can support each other doing what we know is right. Really, this is how we live lives of integrity, knowing the next right thing to do, and then doing the next right thing. And then inviting someone to come alongside you in that journey. Because doing the right thing doesn't have to be this lonely venture. Like, we're meant to do the right thing with other people that are also doing the right thing. Invite someone into your story. Ask a friend for help. Ask a family member for help. There's a certain amount of strength that shows up when you ask someone to be there with you when you're making the right decision. You don't have to do this alone. Tap into the help of God, tap into the help of other people, and just know when you don't know what to do the next right thing.